This is absolutely outrageous, and I'm still trying to process what went down backstage at SmackDown tonight. Tonga, the Bloodline enforcer, just walked up to Shinsuke Nakamura in what should have been a simple locker room interaction and completely disrespected one of the most accomplished wrestlers in WWE history. And here's the part that's going to make your blood absolutely boil. Tama didn't just talk trash or issue a challenge. He put his hands on Nakamura, shoved him into a wall, and told him that his legendary status means nothing compared to the Bloodline's dominance. This wasn't professional rivalry. This was personal disrespect of the highest order, and Nakamura's response is going to shock you. If you think this is just another backstage segment, you're dead wrong. Stay with me through this entire breakdown because what happened in that hallway has implications that go way beyond just these two wrestlers. It touches on respect, legacy, factional warfare, and might be setting up the most culturally significant feud SmackDown has seen in years. Every second of this confrontation matters. Let me paint the complete picture for you, because the context is crucial to understanding why this situation is so explosive. Shinsuke Nakamura has been having an incredible resurgence on SmackDown over the past few months. After years of being underutilized and stuck in the mid-card, he's finally getting the spotlight he deserves, working with top talent and reminding everyone why he was considered one of the best wrestlers in the world during his New Japan days. Meanwhile, the Bloodline has been running roughshod over SmackDown for what feels like forever. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and now Tonga and Tonga Loa have been establishing their dominance and making it clear that anyone who isn't with the Bloodline is against them. They've been systematically going through the roster, challenging anyone who dares to stand up to their authority. Here's my first question for you, and I need this comment section absolutely flooded with answers. Before tonight's confrontation, did you ever think we'd see Tonga go after Shinsuke Nakamura specifically? Because this matchup seemed to come out of absolutely nowhere, and I want to know if anyone saw it coming. The confrontation started when Shinsuke Nakamura was walking through the backstage area, minding his own business after a meeting with SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. He was alone, which in hindsight was probably not the smartest move given the Bloodline's tendency to attack people when they're isolated. Tonga stepped out from around a corner, deliberately blocking Nakamura's path. The body language was immediately hostile. Tama had his arms crossed, standing in a wide stance that communicated he wasn't moving, and Nakamura had to stop or physically run into him. Nakamura's face showed confusion at first, like he was trying to figure out what Tonga's problem was, because as far as anyone knew, these two had no prior issues with each other. According to multiple people who witnessed the confrontation, Tonga started talking, and his tone was dripping with condescension and disrespect. He allegedly said something like, "Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of strong style, the artist, the legend from Japan. You know what I see when I look at you? I see someone living off past accomplishments. I see someone who's been coasting on a reputation built somewhere else, while the Bloodline is building a dynasty right here, right now." The disrespect was immediate and intentional. Tama wasn't just challenging Nakamura, he was dismissing everything Nakamura has accomplished in his career. For someone like Nakamura, who's won championships all over the world and earned universal respect from his peers, this had to cut deep. You could see it in his face, the initial confusion turning to barely controlled anger. Comment below right now and tell me, was Tonga completely out of line bringing up Nakamura's past accomplishments like they don't matter? Or is this exactly the kind of heat-generating promo work that makes wrestling compelling? Because I'm genuinely torn on this. Nakamura responded, and from what witnesses say, his English wasn't perfect, but his message was crystal clear. He told Tonga something along the lines of, "You talk about dynasty, but dynasty requires legacy. Bloodline has power now, yes, but power without respect is just intimidation, and intimidation doesn't work on me." The calmness of Nakamura's delivery made it even more powerful, like he was completely unbothered by Tonga's presence. That's when things escalated from verbal to physical. Tonga, apparently frustrated that his words weren't getting the reaction he wanted, stepped directly into Nakamura's personal space. They were face to face, both men staring each other down, and the tension in that hallway was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Production staff and other wrestlers who were nearby started moving closer, sensing that this was about to get violent. Then Tama made the critical mistake. He put both hands on Nakamura's chest and shoved him backward into the concrete wall. The sound of Nakamura's back hitting the wall echoed through the hallway, and several people gasped. This wasn't a gentle push. This was an aggressive assault meant to physically dominate and humiliate Tama. Tama stood there afterwards with his arms spread wide, like he was daring Nakamura to do something about it. Here's where Nakamura's response becomes legendary. Instead of immediately fighting back, which is what most people would do after being shoved into a wall, Nakamura slowly peeled himself off the wall, adjusted his jacket, and smiled. Not a friendly smile, but that dangerous, chaotic Nakamura smile that fans know means someone's about to get hurt. He tilted his head to the side in that signature way and just stared at Tama. Let me ask you this, because the psychology here is fascinating. Was Nakamura's controlled, calm response more intimidating than if he'd immediately started punches? Drop your analysis in the comments, because I think his restraint actually made him look stronger, not weaker. The stare down lasted for what felt like forever. Neither man was backing down, neither man was looking away, and the energy in that hallway was absolutely electric. Other wrestlers had formed a loose circle around them, ready to intervene if punches started flying, but also not wanting to miss what was about to happen. Cameras that were roaming backstage caught at least part of this confrontation, though WWE hasn't officially released the footage yet. Finally, Nakamura spoke again, and his words were measured and deliberate. Multiple sources report he said something like, "You put hands on me. That was mistake. Now you must face consequence. You want to test strong style? You want to see if king is still king? Challenge me. Any match, any time. I show you the difference between bloodline power and Nakamura legacy." The challenge was issued in the most badass way possible. Nakamura didn't raise his voice, didn't get emotional, just calmly and confidently put it out there that he was ready to back up his words with action. Tonga's expression changed slightly, like he was realizing he might have bitten off more than he could chew, but he couldn't back down now without looking weak in front of everyone watching. Tonga accepted the challenge on the spot, saying how he'll end Nakamura's career and prove that the bloodline is unstoppable. He specifically called for the match to happen next week on SmackDown, and he added that it would be a street fight so he could properly dismantle the King of Strong Style piece by piece. The stipulation choice is significant because it favors brawling over technical wrestling, playing to Tonga's strengths. Here's a trivia question for the longtime NJPN fans. How many times did Tama Tonga and Shinsuke Nakamura cross paths during their New Japan days? And do they have any significant history there? Drop your answer in the comments, because their past encounters might give us clues about how their WWE match will play out. The anti-interference clause is huge because it means Tama will have to win on his own merit without help from Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, or anyone else in the family. This levels the playing field considerably and shows that WWE is serious about making this a legitimate test of both men's abilities rather than just another bloodline numbers game beatdown. The backstage reaction to this confrontation has been fascinating. Veteran wrestlers who've worked with both men are split on who they think will win. Some point to Tama's recent momentum and bloodline backing as evidence he'll come out on top. Others argue that Nakamura in a street fight, especially when he's motivated and angry like this, is virtually unstoppable, and that Tama made a huge mistake putting hands on Nakamura. Social media absolutely exploded when word of this confrontation got out. Hashtags related to both wrestlers started trending immediately. Fans are pulling up old NJPN footage of both men in their prime, creating comparison videos, and debating endlessly about who has the advantage in a no-rules environment. The organic buzz this is generating is exactly what WWE wants heading into a major match. What's your honest prediction? Who wins this street fight, and how does it happen? Comment below with your detailed prediction, because I want to see if the community consensus matches what I think will happen. The cultural significance of this feud shouldn't be overlooked. Both Tama Tonga and Shinsuke Nakamura have deep connections to Japanese wrestling culture, though they represent very different aspects of it. Shinsuke Nakamura is the technical artist, the charismatic performer who blends strong style with entertainment. Tama is the hard-hitting brawler who embraced the American style while maintaining his Pacific Islander heritage through the bloodline connection. Having these two clash feels like more than just a random matchup. It feels like a collision of philosophies, styles, and representations of what modern wrestling can be. WWE has an opportunity here to create something special if they're willing to invest in the storytelling and give both men the platform to show what makes them unique. The training and preparation segments we'll see next week are going to be crucial. For Nakamura, they need to show him preparing with traditional strong-style training, hitting heavy bags, working on strikes, and mentally preparing for war. For Tama, they should show him studying Nakamura's moveset, possibly getting advice from other bloodline members, even though they can't help during the match, and getting ready for the biggest singles match of his WWE career. Let me ask you to fantasy book some specific moments. What weapon do you most want to see used in this street fight? What signature move from either wrestler do you think will get the biggest pop? Drop your specific hopes in the comments because I love seeing what the community wants from big matches like this. The stakes for both men are enormous but in different ways. For Tama